Right, let's get to a huge blow for Chelsea now. Cole Palmer has been ruled out for a further 6 weeks with a groin injury. Well, let's get more on this. We can now join our reporter Gail Davis. Gail, good afternoon to you. I mean, it really is a huge blow for Chelsea and not their only injury concern.
No, Joe, but this is the really big one. And as Enzo Maresca, sorry, we'll come on to Enzo Fernandez afterwards, conceded in the press conference a bit later on from where you'll hear, he really is irreplaceable. He does things other players just can't do. Featured in only 3 Premier League games so far this season because of this ongoing injury. We saw him, didn't we, replaced at Old Trafford during that defeat, and he's not been seen since. When I spoke to Maresca at the time, he said a few weeks off, and he should be available at this point. But we learned today it's another 6 weeks, and they've got some really big fixtures coming up, Chelsea, towards the end of November, the likes of Tottenham, Barcelona in the Champions League, and Arsenal. And it takes a lot, doesn't it, to for a Premier League head coach to admit they were wrong, but that's what Maresca did.
I was wrong. Unfortunately, he needs to be out probably 6 more weeks. So, yeah, this is the update.
When I spoke to you a few weeks ago, you said he wouldn't require any sort of surgery. Is that still the case?
Yes, absolutely. We try just to protect Cole as much as we can. And the most important thing is that when he comes back, he's fully fit.
And are you confident that that extra period of rest, that you've got to the bottom of what the problem is? Because obviously you don't want to be here in 6 weeks' time saying that you're wrong again. Are you confident that will do the trick this time?
Yeah, but unfortunately the medical staff, they are no magician. You never know that. Probably you need 6 weeks. We hope that 6 weeks they are enough. But it's a problem that we need to see step by step, week after week. But for sure, he's going to be okay.
And Gail, it's the first time we've heard from Maresca since that last-minute win over Liverpool. How did he reflect on that victory?
Yeah, so full of emotion that day. It maybe so full, in fact, that he got himself sent off, didn't he? So we couldn't hear him at the end of the game. Got him a hefty fine. And he'll be watching not from the dugout against Nottingham Forest tomorrow. Quite contrast today. Wasn't really too keen to dwell on a moment that could prove to be key to their season. It was very much back to business, and yeah, no emotion in any of the answers he gave about that late goal against Liverpool.
It was a big moment for many reasons. The first reason is because since I joined the club, we never won a game at home in the last minute. So that was one of the reasons why. The other reason is because we were playing against, in this moment, the champion of England. They won the last Premier League. So it was an important moment for sure. For me personally, it was just a reaction, just I don't know, a passion moment, just a normal reaction. I think it's part of our job, the moment, the passion, the reaction, and I think it's also nice for everyone, for the fans, for the stadium.
So Tosin and Wesley Fofana are back, and there's always a few buts, aren't there, around Chelsea and injuries this season. The likes of Benoit Badiashile just come back from injuries, now out until December with a muscular problem. Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo and Pedro Neto didn't train yesterday. Not sure whether they're training out now, but they are a doubt for Nottingham Forest. Yeah, so that injury list is still ongoing, but the biggest headache of all, finding somebody to play in that position that Cole Palmer would normally be playing in. It'll be interesting to see what he does against Forest tomorrow.
OK, Gail, for now, thank you very much.
And it's Chelsea, though, because Chelsea and their discipline have been discussed recently. Enzo Maresca was sent off in that result against Liverpool. It was the 4th red card in 5 games in all competitions for them. But Maresca's downplayed his red card against Liverpool, saying it was all about passion and a reaction to a last-minute winner.
It was a big moment for many reasons. The first reason is because since I joined the club, we never won a game at home in the last minute. So that was one of the reasons why. The other reason is because we were playing against, in this moment the champion of England. They won the last Premier League, so was an important moment for sure. For me personally, it was just a reaction, just a passion moment, just a normal reaction, and yeah, that's all.
Do you agree with this? It was just passion in the moment, the celebration. You don't have a problem?
I don't have a problem in the slightest. The whole point of football, I argued with a referee about this last week. The whole point of football is for moments just like the one that Esteval provided. So if you have an explosion of joy like the one that Maresca demonstrated, why are you penalising a guy for that? And I don't blame the referee in particular. I blame the ruling. The ruling is created by somebody who clearly has never played football, with all the stakes that are involved in it. That goal it sends him into the international break in a completely different frame of mind. It could potentially ease the pressure on him. It could be the difference at the end of the season between a Champions League place and a Europa League place. And it is against a side that everyone said was going to smash them to pieces at Stamford Bridge. I have zero problem with those pictures. Absolutely not.
But the rest of the red cards, however, and him being slightly delulu and saying we don't have a discipline problem when you've had that number of red cards in a short space of time, that's a problem. It's a worry, especially in defence where they were already short.
Yeah, I think the problem comes is I don't think it's a discipline problem per se. You know, like the Sanchez one, for example, it wasn't a malicious tackle, wasn't he lost his head, he made a decision, he got it wrong, misjudged it, and the rules say that's the red card. Similarly, defensively, last-minute tackle, you're trying to get the ball, you slightly get it wrong, punishment's harsh. They probably need to try and get that consistency, which they're struggling with because of injuries, suspensions, these things. Because the types of mistakes they're making are ones where I think if you get a bit of continuity and a bit of rhythm, those moments that occur in games will be less and less.
Absolutely.
Yourselves in this place where you can just say whatever you want. And if you... For me, Andrew's done very well wherever he's gone. I even remember when he first went to Celtic, and even at that point, and when he was at Celtic, he wiped the floor. He was exceptional. Before he went there, everyone was like, who's this guy? No, I don't think we want him. And that seems to just be the narrative, unfortunately, that follows him. And there was a lot of that at Spurs. I know their domestic season last year was a disappointment. He acknowledged that, though, but he got them a European trophy. I think it's been so harsh, and it looks a complete mess how it's been handled, and I don't think it's a good look, the amount of chants that have been, you know, heard for fans and people in stadiums calling for managers to get sacked. And yeah, I think clearly their run has not been good, but chanting that from the get-go, that doesn't help any team.
Can I back that? Because if you look at last season, look at this season, Aston Villa winless in their first 6 matches of the season. And everyone's talking about Emery being under pressure. Since then, they've won 4 games in a row. Last season, I want to take you back to last season, Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace managed to win 1 Premier League game in 5 months. But Palace stuck with him because they knew who he had. They knew what he could do. Even a good manager can have a bad run. And that's what's happening with Postecoglou. But as you've been saying, Rach, his first season, he finishes 5th with Tottenham. His second season, he wins the Europa League and qualifies them for the elite European League, the Champions League. I think, and I've been in press conferences when he said it, he talks about his Australian football background. And he's very open about the fact that people look down their noses at him in Europe because he doesn't come from one of the superpowers. And I am such a big fan of his willingness to defend himself. People say he had a meltdown, 5-minute rubbish. He has gone out there to defend himself. And even though I'm a journalist, I'm very much of the opinion, if you have other opinions about other people, you can't be upset when those other people say, I'm going to come out and I'm going to defend my record and my ability to win things. And the point of football is to win things. That's what this guy does.
We're going to put the record up on screen, though, to show just kind of how bad it is. In 23 matches in the Premier League this calendar year, there are 3 victories for Ange Postecoglou. But the ultimate shutdown...
Those numbers disguise the fact, because obviously 23 games, they would include Spurs, right?
Yeah.
And when it became clear that they were on their way to the Europa League final, he said, I'm going to put my eggs all in one basket. You cannot tell me that there is anybody at Tottenham Hotspur who is enjoying Champions League football right now who should not be grateful to him for doing that, because in winning the Europa League, I was about to say nobody cares when you finish. People obviously have used that as a stick to beat him with.
Yeah.
But their presence in the elite European League, their ability to attract players, the revenue that they get from being in the Champions League is down to Postecoglou.
What I was going to say is those numbers obviously get shut down because they did win a trophy. And he said all along, in my second season, I will win a trophy. And I'm going to deliver. And he did, you know, he stuck to his guns. He provided. It was the ultimate mic drop moment. And I think at Nottingham Forest, I don't know if you agree, the situation and the way in which he came in, he was announced on the Thursday. He took charge of the game against Arsenal just a matter of hours later, I think 48 hours or something later. He still has not had real time to work with this team. I know the fans are turning on him, but when you look at the time frame, it does feel a little bit unfair, doesn't it?
Yes, been a short period, and even you look at those stats, he wouldn't sit here and be like, yeah, I'm pleased with that. That's the outcome I was hoping for, and I want that to improve, clearly. I think that, but that's the thing. The point is, since he's taken over at Forest, they've not had that win yet under him. And I just think the narrative in this short period has just all been negative, and that also affects the reality of the situation and the environment and the players and the training day to day and the pressure. Those things don't lead to a greater likelihood of results. And that's what I always just think when you're, you know, as a fan, and, you know, openly I support Aberdeen, and there's been lots of times when we've not been doing well. And you can sit in the kitchen table and you can, you know, have a little rant with your family and enjoy that. But when you go to the games, for me, I'm always like, we've got to back the team, because that will be the best chance for us to win. And we might still not win, but it's the best chance. And I just think right now at Forest, they need everyone and everything to come together and move in the right direction. I was there opening game of the season for them this year, and the place was electric. And I'm going to be there tomorrow. I'm so intrigued to just feel what it's like, because I just can't believe we're here today.
Yeah, well, come back and tell us next time, won't you?